Hi, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to episode 8 of Backseat Musicians. That did not go to the original plan, but fuck it, this is amazing. Cool, you're watching something on YouTube.
Backseat Musicians.
This promoting thing really is like a fucking rabbit hole.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And it really is tricky to have a good balance, and I think it was part of why I like stepped off the scene a bit, just because I was like, I need to know more, because I'm not happy with what's happening right now. That was where I was at. Like, I could have done another 7 shitty gigs, or I could have taken a second, refined my product, and promoted it properly, and done 1 or 2 good gigs the next year. You know what I mean? That was my thinking, and I was like, I know what I'll do.
Yeah,
I'm living at home. I can afford to take the time, so fuck it.
100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
But it takes time.
No, it does, man. And we're starting to see some traction with this, and I've recorded all the talking for my first video. I just need to finish the song. And I'm specifically going to make it a bit lo-fi. Like, I'm not going to, you know what I mean? Obviously, I'm going to mix it properly, or as best as I can. But you know what I mean? Like, so that crash course is actually very helpful. But yeah, so we'll see what happens. Basically, I'm talking about the importance of creative restrictions to finishing songs. Because if you have too many options, you lose your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just having a ballpark idea. Like, for example, like, I talk about it like as a subject, an idea, or even a piece of melody. So like, for me, like, the song doesn't if you sit down to write a song, the song doesn't fully exist until you have something to latch onto. You know what I mean? Like, even if it is like 3 notes and you go, you know what, I like these 3 notes and they have to be in this song. But you need that core concept to build around. Else you're going to go crazy. There are very few people, there will be very few songs in your career that you build out of fuck all. Like, I use the analogy of the dog, where it's like, imagine trying to explain to someone what a dog looks like who has never seen a dog before, without picturing a specific breed of dog or a specific dog. You could do it, but you're making your life too difficult.
So when you're saying building out of nothing, but having an idea, I mean, what is your concept of starting from something?
As in walking into the room with a vague idea of what you want to do.
I've never walked into a room with an idea. Ever. Honestly.
Okay, yeah.
I never ever create like that. I just play, and then things come. That's how I treat music, and improvisation. Like, if you go into improvisation, if you go into a gig and and you're gonna improvise and you know what you want to play, then it's not really improvisation. And if you want to be able to react to the moment of that moment, preconceived ideas will spoil that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I'm not talking about that. Okay, wait. Let me rephrase. I'm not talking about.
So my idea of walking into a room with like a plan is like, I'm gonna make a song now. That's my plan.
Yeah. Okay. So you see, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Wait. Let me phrase it better. The thing is, okay, so when you walk in and you know you want to write a song, when you're playing, you're waiting for that first idea, right?
Mm.
So see, I'm talking about the importance of that first idea, and how a lot of young songwriters might walk into a room and be like, you know what, I'm going to be inspired now. I'm going to sit here and wait. And and I'm just kind of saying that's a bit dumb.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, you can't sit and wait, but I mean, um, yeah, I mean, like, I kind of get what you're saying, but each to their own. I just there's some merit in going. I am feeling like this right now.
Mm-hmm.
Say you're in a certain mood. Say you're feeling heartbroken, and you want to write a song about heartbreak. That's walking to the idea with into the room with an idea,
Yeah, that's what
concept,
I'm
and
talking
which
about.
means that's going to restrain all of your thoughts towards that. There's also something cool about going. I'm feeling happy, but I feel like I want to write a song about heartbreak. So now you're going to write a song about heartbreak in that sense, but trying to make yourself unhappy in that space is one way of doing it. But then also being able to write a song about heartbreak when you're in a good mood, when you're in love.
Mm.
It's almost like I'm yearning, or maybe you're in heartbreak and you're yearning to be in love.
Mm.
You know, we're talking about very cheesy concept, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you know,
Yeah,
there's merit in that. There's merit in even being able to say, I'm feeling like this, but I want to write about a song from this. So therefore, my viewpoint on this is going to be skewed, which is going to add something different to the song. Do you know what I mean? As
Yeah.
opposed to being heartbroken and being in love and talking about love, as opposed to um, talking about being in love from the viewpoint of being not in love.
Yeah, and you see that this is what I'm talking about. So you see how much thinking is going on there. Like I'm not saying. So I wasn't saying that like you have to walk in with an idea. My thing is that like if you sit there and you be like, I'm gonna clear my mind and let the music in. It's like that's not gonna work, dude. Like you're gonna lose your mind trying to do that. And sometimes it works, but no. You know what I mean? Why are you doing that to yourself? That's my logic.
I mean, yeah, but Kenny Werner would disagree. Like Kenny Werner's like, if you want to write a piece of music, first thing is, don't try and first of all, like basically his comment is like, try and write a really bad piece of music, and then just start, because he also doesn't believe in plans. Because he's saying then you're using your, because basically what he's saying is that the space, so whatever religion you believe in or whatever concept of a higher power you believe in,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be a god figure or a non, that if you try and write within your own capacity, your music will never be as good as if you acknowledged a higher being, a higher power, with, if you want to call it the universe or whatever you want to call it, informing your decision. So he talks about like the way that Bill Evans spoke about it, and Coltrane spoke about it, and Miles Davis spoke about it, and even pop stars of today talk about, some of them that are believe in God, where they said like they don't feel like they write their own music. The music comes to them because they're not trying. And his thing is one of the ways to get into that space where you're not actually working that hard is to turn off. So obviously it's always hard work, because a song is always going to be hard work. Writing a song and finishing a piece is hard work. But I mean, it doesn't have to be a forced, like a painstakingly difficult thing. When you're allowing the music to flow without concern for thought, because that would dampen then, because the minute you start thinking, there's also kind of this thing that's going to creep in, will be like, I need this to be good. And his whole argument is that the minute you want it to be good, he guarantees 9 out of 10 times it's not going to be good. And he gives all these exercises in that book about how to, so even on composition, he's got like years exercises to start eliminating that process. Like I firmly believe that writing should not be a painstaking experience. It doesn't mean it's going to be quick, but it doesn't have to be like a churning process. Do you know what I mean? I do believe that mixing and production can sometimes be churning, because it's a very like tedious job. It's like finding the right sounds and finding all this like really tedious. Doesn't mean it's hard. It's just tedious. Like going back and forth and going back and forth. Those are tedious processes. They don't have to be hard, but they do take time. Writing doesn't always have to be that hard, because that is the true inspiration part. Do you know what I mean? Because generally a producer's not coming from a point of inspiration. He's coming from a job point of view. I believe the composer needs to come from a place of inspiration, if anyone.
Yeah, no, same. So all I'm saying is
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No. See, so what the point I'm trying to make there is that you have to be open, definitely, and I am open, even though I know a lot of people think I think too much, but I really don't. Okay, like it's more like when I found the idea and it makes sense to what I'm trying to do, all I do is that, okay, you know. and then slowly, and like it's still a searching process when you figured out what you want to do. Like you're searching for, because it's almost like for me like a song or an idea that I have creatively, or every creative idea I have, like I'll get an image of it. You know what I mean? At first, that tells me that I've got something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll be sitting there like looking and trying to understand what I saw. You know what I mean? And then making sense of that and doing this.
Yeah.
And for me, like my warning to young writers and people my age is that understanding what happens there requires a certain level of discernment, really focusing in on what you're doing. And that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I remember actually writing a song on my first album. I think it's called Me. And I wrote it. I think it was that one. I can't remember. I don't know. I just remember the moment. I remember coming up with this idea, this concept, and I recorded it into Logic. And I got this image in my head, because I work with images as well. Like, even when writing, like when me and Jesse would sit in a room, like like some of the songs that I wrote. Well, all the songs that I wrote. So the only one that I didn't write was the one, but two of them actually.
Mm.
The other one I haven't finished yet. I forgot about it. But anyways, I saw this image and I didn't understand the song and I put it aside. And then Leanne was in the room and she recorded me playing the riff from the piano and the melody. And then she played it for me again. She said, "What happened to this song?" I said, "I didn't understand it." And then she played it for me again on the phone and then I understood it. And then I finished it.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't understand how these two sections work together, and I don't understand, because I saw the image. I can't remember what the image was, but I just remember that moment. It was like, this didn't make sense to me, so I just left it. So I was like, I'm not going to just put, sounds cool, and I like it, but I'm not going to put something on that I don't get. You know what I mean? And then I just regarded it. But once I got understood how those two sections fitted together in the song, because I didn't change a single thing. So what happened is that all I had to do was just, like the song was done. When I disregarded it, I just had to create a jump groove for it. And when I decided to use it, the song was already actually done. I couldn't understand how those two sections meant, what they meant together. So I was like, then it doesn't make sense. But the minute I understood it, then it made sense. And funny enough, it was like one of the people, like when I launched it, people liked that song more than the ones that I thought that they like. I thought there would be the one song that people didn't like because it was quite jazzy, like really, hard. And funny enough, that was the favorite, which was interesting. Anyways.
Yeah. So like with this video, sorry, just finishing this concept, and then we need to get going. What I did was I got a whole lot of random numbers from a friend of mine. Plus, I have this thing which I call the deck of many YouTube songs. And I draw 3 cards from a playing card deck, and I get 3 different words. And what I do is I read the words. Sometimes I need to get definitions because I forgot what neonatal means. It's the first 28 days of birth. Anyway.
It's in Paul Carney's album Neonative.
Yes, that's it. And like, so what I got was inexorable, earth, inexorable, neonatal. And the thing is that when I read those words, they mean something to me in the moment, and then I write down a single sentence that defines the song. And then that's what I work off. And that's the thing I'm talking about. And then the numbers are just things like when I read, like I got options for like melodies and ostinatos, and I ignored the ones I didn't think I needed. And then that was basically what I was doing. I was like, I can do whatever I want with these numbers. Do whatever I want with the numbers. Do whatever I want with that. And with those 3 things, I got basically a stubborn baby. And what 2 things in my life are a stubborn baby right now? It's my YouTube channel and my love life. So it's like, okay, cool. 2 things I can talk about in tandem, happening at the same time. and like the way I've had to like search and learn about them are quite similar. So it's like, okay, cool. This will be a cool thing to talk about. And then also I want to force myself to only use 3 chords throughout the whole thing. So a lot of production and stuff like that. And I also found a baby crying. I'm going to use that. I'm excited about that. I'm going to sample a baby. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, where?
Yeah. So I think I actually need to change the script to that, because you reminded me of a few points that I need to change.
Well,
I was maybe a bit too aggressive.
you know, each to their own.
Yeah. No, I just like, for me, like being.
I think you shouldn't. You should always, when you give points, you shouldn't give them as solid fact. You should give them as suggestions, and then also open up for other suggestions that you maybe don't use, but other people try.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're gonna start getting criticism. Is when people say, "Yeah, but you say like, didn't say that there isn't," so that you're always backing yourself and being able to say, "I didn't say that this is the other. This is one I used with this song, and the next song maybe I'll use." You know what I mean? Like, be very careful about this, Don, because that is someone you like to say things as fact, and that's gonna close you off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's gonna what all that you are doing is you are contributing to the learning musician. So, you know, he may be trying something else, and all you're doing is providing him with an option, and here's what I was able to create with that option. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, you know, yeah, like everyone's different. Like the way that you're talking about it right now is quite
personal.
No, it's very European. So when I was in Norway and I was doing that thing, the guys also wrote like that, but it irritated the shit out of me when they were talking about it, because they were saying that, yeah, you sound very European, but it's different. Because what they were saying, people who talk about inspiration, I don't believe it. I think that's a load of bullshit. That's what they were saying, and that music is something that you work really hard on and stuff like that. And I was like, it irritated me because those guys, I was like, but who are you? Because the thing is that anyone that's really made it in the industry, and I mean anyone that's really made it in the industry, always talks about inspiration, divine inspiration. There's not many people that have really made it big that didn't have inspiration, that sat down and worked on their songs that hard. So we're talking about like people like Beyonce, even, you know, is someone that talks about God and inner music, and Katy Perry, you know, and all these people, in the current successful thing, most of them talk about that. You know, a big deal of them are saying, they're not always like publicizing it, but it is like none of them are going, because I mean some of them are singing other people's music and has worked as a group, but I don't believe that they're going. I don't believe that a successful song can come. A truly successful song, because half of success comes from emotion. I mean, half of the way that a song is received is from honesty and emotion. That's what people want in music. Do you know what I mean? And it doesn't mean the song has to be deep for it to be honest.
Yeah, it doesn't
have to be. It doesn't have to be an emotional song about heartbreak. Like something can be really looks like very cheesy and whatever, and like talk about nothing. Talk about meeting a chick in a club. It doesn't mean that song isn't honest, and it's just like that's something I felt in that moment, and that's what I wrote, and it was a really cheesy song. But it doesn't mean that it's that's not honest. Do you know what I mean? And that's not something that was given to him by divine intervention. Do you know what I mean? Like these things, because do you know what I'm saying? That so there are ways of making music. Very like Coltrane went through a stage of studying music and purposely creating music with an idea, a concept. Like Miles, they researched something and they did something, and then in the moment of the creation, then the spirit was able to come. They were like, okay, cool, this is what we're thinking, but let's make music. Do you know what I mean? Like, here's the concept and structure, and that's what you're doing. But I'm saying you can't. It's not one or the other. Both can be involved in the whole process.
That's the point I'm making.
Exactly. I know you're not. That's what I'm saying. That irritated me, because he was like, "There's no such thing as God." Blah 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 blah. And I'm not saying you don't have to believe in God.
Yeah.
But I do think that you need to believe. Keith Jarrett, for instance, you know, he says, "I'm a conduit." He says, if I thought while I was playing, I'd never ever be able to play as well as when. If I thought when I was, so basically, I don't think when I'm playing, I just play. I let I'm a conduit, and God speaks to me and through me. And but if the moment I start thinking am I playing, and I start trying to do things out of my own, then that's when I play terribly. And for me, that is there are people who didn't believe in God necessarily, but are still able to access that ability because it's a concept. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So I call it the educated subconscious.
Sure.
So because it knows when to search, and it knows when not to. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, basically,
Yeah.
the idea is that you're not supposed to ever not search. Like...
Yeah, it's, okay. It knows when to search completely, and it knows when to search based around an idea. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I mean, the thing is that if you're searching, if I feel that if you're getting something from this divine source, that divine source is the no. So that divine source would give you something. There would be no more search. You just have to obey and do. So then, if you were continually searching, then you're just trying to find something. Then you're still not acknowledging the fact that you're getting it from a divine source, because that divine source knows better than you. Do you know what I mean? The concept of, I'm composing now and I want to write a song. I don't know what the song is. I don't have any preconceived ideas of it. I just want it to bless someone. I just want it to be something for someone. On the highest level or the most shallow level, irrelevant. I'm going to write the next song that's going to be whatever it is. Cool. I go and I turn off my mind. I turn off my ego. I say, I don't want to write the best song in the world. I don't want to write something that's going to change someone, change the world musically, whatever it is. I just need to make something that's honest for me. Cool. Let me turn off my ego. Let me just take away myself from this thing, because the minute I make it about me, I'm going to start wanting to make it good and burning, and I want to add that extra chord in, because that's, I want people to know that I'm actually a good musician. These problems. And then if you just accept it, you start playing and you let things come out, you find these ideas, it's going to come on its own without going, that was the search. I'm finding something comes and I go. Do you know what I mean? That's supposedly the idea and the concept behind it. I've not mastered it.
Yeah.
But it's a practice, and Kenny Water talks about this. It's something you actually have to practice. You have to practice removing yourself from the equation. And even when you're performing, you have to practice removing yourself from the equation. So many of these big stars say when they walk onto that stage, they're performing, they're not themselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're completely irrelevant.
So the way I got over my performance anxiety was that I would it was part of, like, it was sort of the thing is, like, leave the practice that you've done at home. So at the gig I never think about the music I'm about to play.
Yeah.
I literally got to the point where every time I walk into a stage, my brain tries to go to the place where it thinks about what's going to happen next, and I just go, shut the fuck up, and then I walk on. You know what I mean? That's me. And like I said, sometimes I don't practice improv for 2 months and then go. Just like, fuck it. My ear knows. You know what I mean? Just
I don't practice at all.
Yeah.
like I touch the piano once every 3 weeks, and I mean, there's not even a practice. I mean, that's let me just going, okay, I'm gonna play an A flat for 5 minutes and then I'm done.
Yeah.
I was watching this interesting thing on YouTube, a religious thing.
What was it? I think I should do like a take of the intro and then just stick it to the front of this. Actually, this was it.
So, and he was saying, if you're nervous, then it's a religious thing. So this guy is a preacher, and he was saying, if you're nervous, then you're not with God.
Yeah.
Because he does this intense things where he preaches twice a night for 6 weeks. And people are like, how you do it? He says, I don't do anything. He's like, this is the easiest job in the world. He's got all these businesses and stuff on his own. He's actually South African. He lives in the States now. And he said, it's so easy to me because I'm not working. I'm just obeying. I just literally get told to do something in my mind, and I speak, and I just speak. And I'm just so, there's no effort from my part. He goes, if I walked on and was nervous, then I knew I had my own agendas. I know then that I'm actually trying to do something on my own, and that's wrong. He says, it's easy for me because I'm not doing anything. And this is the interesting thing about Kenny Werner. When Benji came back down,
Mm,
he was saying, watch, because Kenny Werner was one of the teachers, you know.
Yeah.
And he was saying, just it was the most amazing thing watching him, and you got to watch him quite a few times. Like the effortlessness that he played with, it just flowed. Like he'd be talking to you, and he'd be playing the most beautiful things, you know, like while he's talking to you, you know. And it's just unbelievable the effortlessness. And this is what he says. He says, many people go and do gigs, like happens to me, because I haven't nailed this thing yet, where you're playing and you come back after the gig and your back is like, he's a pianist, right? So he's talking mostly about piano. And your back is sore, or you got a little shoulder ache here because you were tense. He says that's not how it's supposed to be. If you're playing piano, he says, when I play piano and I'm done, I feel refreshed. So he's saying, I'm not playing for myself. I'm not playing with ego. I don't want to prove to you that I'm good. I don't want to prove to that guy that I'm good. All I'm doing is delivering a message. So like music is supposed to, if all of us are making music from that place, the music is supposed to go, music will bring about light and take away darkness. That if each person that provided music, irrelevant of it, and we're not talking about spiritual music or religious music, we're just talking about music, that music is supposed to bring light. You know, because even in darkness, they can be like even when you're bringing a sad song, it can make someone's day. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's times when I put on sad music, not because I want to be sad, like not because I'm sad or I want to be sad, but this is just the mood that I'm in. But it doesn't mean that I'm. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with that, and it's really beautiful the way he puts it. I'm paraphrasing so badly, but it's so beautiful, his concept that like music should be easy. Music should be the performance part of it and the creation side of it should not be a taxing part of your life, and that if you're doing it properly, like all of the greats did, where you can see that their lives didn't get taxed once they found that place. Like, you know, once they were able to find that space in it, then music became hot. Like Beyonce was able to do 8 months of rehearsals and do just for 2 shows. I don't think it was that taxing on her life. It was physically taxing. She had to make sure she ate properly, and obviously there's a certain part of it. But that she was like, this is what I do. I love it. I'm not working aside beyond myself. This is not about me. I'm just doing this thing. I really wanted to do this thing, and it's been on my heart for long. That she talks about the thing. I'm just doing it. It's the gift on her life that this is what she's called to do. And when we all find that place and we just let go and take away ego, we all have ego. And this is something that I'm really working hard on.
But you know, for example, like that gig that I did with you and Alex and Damien and Ryan, like that gig was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, and part of that was like one thing I've been able to get right, like, and what's helped my performance a lot is that it helps me when I go on stage, when I don't think about the notes or the music, but I just think about the story, and I literally just live the story.
Yeah.
And that's why I think I've only really ever performed my own music properly, because I know the stories that intimately, and I can really get into it. You know, and I can perform at that level that makes me really happy about it every single time, and I do walk off refreshed and happy every time.
Yeah. It's important, man.
And I think that's part of why it hit me so hard when Alex reacted like that to that gig, when he was just like, "Yeah, man, that felt really good." Like,
yeah,
and I was like, "Oh shit, really he was with us." Like, you know, like we it felt like we were in it together. You know what I mean? And that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, see, it's really easy. So in that gig and in any gig that I do these days, which is not many gigs, when I'm accompanying you, I'm in the moment, because all I'm doing is serving you as the storyteller, really, right? And obviously, like, I'm still trying to listen and but the minute I start soloing, that's the point. Like, when it becomes limelight on you, like me as a soloist, that's when the brain starts going, because, like, you know, it's very easy for me to like just do the job properly and beautifully when there's no limelight on me. That's so easy for me. The minute that I have to improvise, that's when the ego kicks in for me, you know. And that's something that I'm still trying to deal with. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the tough part. Like, so even in that gig, the minute I started soloing, there were some solos that I did, I remember, which I felt was like what that was right, because I know that I wasn't trying anything. And there was other solos where I was like, yeah, okay, 2 of you, you know, and I, you know, like that for me, that's the point. Like, for me, it's still not. I'm still not there yet. I'm still not at that point, 100%, where I'm removing myself from the equation, moving my personal agenda sort of thing. I want people to think I'm good. Like even and it's not a conscious thought. It's about learning to take away that thought altogether, because genuinely it's actually a subconscious thought. You go, oh, I practice and I can play really fast. And, it just comes out, like whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I have a similar problem sometimes.
It's growth, man, as long as you can acknowledge it. And I mean, something that, I used to ask, there was a season I went through when I started playing way less. Because obviously, I don't know, as many people would know that I can, especially a couple of years ago, I would play a lot.
Yeah.
I could play a lot of notes. I play really fast all the time. But it came easy to me. And I went through a phase, I was having a chat with one of my friends, and he was like, when you solo, it sometimes gets overwhelming for the audience.
Yeah.
Because it's like, he was like, you play so much. And it's not that it's bad, but if you're not an educated musician, you're just an audience member, you just go like, what is happening?
Yeah.
There's just so many notes. There's just so much happening. The left hand's going, and it's just going. So I went through a phase of going like, okay, I need to hold back. I need to restrain myself. And I was in the middle of King Kong at that stage. And I was like restraining myself. And that was a great place because you're playing the same thing every night, right? So I was like, I came through a phase, and then when I came back out of that and I was gigging again, I was playing less, and I'd learned to play less without like being like itching, I'd really control my mind, and I found myself to be like even less honest than I am now, because what I came to realize is like the reason I play fast is because I can, and it's finding that balance, because that is just coming out of me. It's not like me going, I'm going to play fast now because I want to show off. It's like that just like my hands just do it because I practice scales and arpeggios for so many years, so consistently, all that hardcore. Like that just, it was like, it was so easy for me. So it's finding that what is you, because this person's truth, this person's honesty is not your honesty.
Yeah.
Suppose I'm like, okay, I'm listening to Bob James and he plays doesn't play a lot. That's not me. Do you know what I mean? He can play fast, but that's just, he's maybe more of a laid-back person. I am a talk, like I was like saying, like one of the things I realized, like I talk a lot. I overwhelm people with talking, but nothing. Yeah. So I know that therefore it would be dishonest of me to want to come and be this like laid-back pianist when that's not me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
so it's like about finding that honesty. So, there are times when I'm completely quiet. I don't talk. Well, not often, but it does happen. And then the rest of the time I'm quiet and in your face talker, communicator. So it's about finding that honesty within you.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, and that's why sometimes when people use the word honesty to describe like when you're using less, and that's the only time they use the word honesty, and it's just like, bruh, that's not like. I also sing a lot of lies, like as you know, and I mean, and it's genuinely, I'm not sure. Most of the time I'm not showing off. It's just that I like it, and like in my mind that's what I'm doing. Like I don't plan my solos at all. I literally I sit there and I let my ear take me.
Yeah, react. That's what is the best thing, is react.
Yeah. That's
what we're supposed to do. We're not there to like have an agenda and show off. It's reacting to each musician on the stage at any moment. Yeah.
I mean, know the chords, know what you're doing, but react in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, don't practice, guys. Like, don't try and pull that shit. I know some people like to do that. Like, anyway, just like know where you are. Like a lot of sometimes as a singer you can get away with not knowing exactly where you are.
No, but it becomes very obvious very quickly. Yeah, I mean, like if it's a simple enough song, you can get away with it when like with the chords are very diatonic. It's okay to get away with that. It's possible.
Yeah, but you don't want to get away with it though.
Yeah, I know you don't want to. Yeah. But in the moment, the minute there's like, jazzy-ish chords, it's gonna be obvious even to anyone in the
lay
band.
Person. Yeah.
I was listening to ensemble. There's like a lot of these, and these are first years. Okay, so I'm not being hard on them. But a couple of a lot of them, when they have to solo, the solos are nice, but it's like they're never touching the song. Is like my description, like they're floating above it.
Yeah.
Because you cannot. It's so important to understand the chords, even when it's a 4-chord song, because I need it to not float on top. I want it to be in the song. If you're taking a solo,
Mm.
it needs to hear. I need to hear those certain changes. Like if I'm going, I don't know why I keep on singing B flat minor to E flat minor. I don't know why that's in my head. It's like the whole time while you're talking, I'm just seeing those two chords. so like B flat minor.
That is so funny because literally I've been writing an E flat for like 3 weeks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. You're just seeing me, bro. I'm
I'm feeling your aura, bro. Yeah, so like I want to hear that like outline B flat, D flat, F, A flat, and then when the chord moves to A flat, to E flat, I want to hear G flat, G flat. You know,
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
minor
yeah,
third, I want to hear that change. I want to hear, even if you added passing tone G to E flat to G flat, I want to hear that. That has to be heard because what I've noticed that even the layman can tell. They don't know what it is about your solo, and they may be impressed that you're playing like hip notes, but they can just. It's always like, he was nice. It's nice.
Yeah,
as opposed to
yeah.
like listening to like, someone that can really nail changes, but also has that ability to play really simply, like a Zeke. They can give you just all those little cliches that you really want to hear on a poppy song. But then also give you some of that information without it being like licks or anything. I just want to hear those movements. It's so important to hear those, even as a singer. And that comes down to, is the pianist playing the chords simply enough for the singer to be able to play over?
Yeah, sometimes you just need to know the changes, man. Like honestly, like in my experience, it's more like I had a perfect sentence in my head, but now it's gone.
It's that bird.
Yeah, it is the bird.
Damn you, bird. 2 of them.
Yeah, that's why.
The audacity.
No, it's important to like sit, especially. It's really tricky to get that right. Okay, this is because your ear. It takes a while for your ear and your voice to really react to the difference between 2 chords, and that's the key to improvising well. And it's something that I'm still working on properly. And it's like it's finding. As you said, it's that change. Oh wait, yes, this is it. This is what I wanted to say. Fuck. Okay, I'm cutting that again. Like, just
asshole. I hate that. It's funny. Come on.
No, I'm kidding. I'm leaving it in. But like, well, they'll see. You see, so this is the point I had. It's the reason why the layperson can tell when you actually like nailing it or not, like theoretically, is because theory is descriptive and not prescriptive. It describes what works to an extent. You know, as in what music theory was trying to do was trying to understand what was pleasing and putting it in a system that you can learn. Yeah. And the mistake that some teaching does is that it says, well, this is the only way you can do it. This is right. This is all that has to. This is the only thing that can work. Without taking into account that it's actually just. Realistically, it's a collection of random sounds that were eventually put together by a couple of very clever people that said, you know what, this is actually a pretty good system to make it work. Yeah. And that's why there are so many different systems. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's why that happens. Like, it's because, like for me, I personally believe music is such a special art form because it's one of the few art forms that actually hits you. Like the sound waves are hitting your body.
Yeah, there's movement. There's actual energy.
Yeah, and dissonance and that's why dissonance and consonance are so powerful, because consonance is something hitting you, and something else hitting you that makes sense, and dissonance is something hitting you and something else. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why, like, when you make those movements in the right way and you use dissonance in the right way, it's so powerful.
I don't like the word dissonance. Okay. I like the word tension.
Tension. Okay, sure.
Do you know what? It's because dissonance then becomes something that we seek after this. And you know why? This is a personal thing.
Sure.
I went through a phase of jazz was all about dissonance. Like, I'm talking when I was in first year. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't really know much about jazz. You know, like I came from pretty much, didn't know much. I knew nothing about jazz. I was completely classically trained. And so when I was there in the learning, I was like, how do these jazz pianists sound like that? You know, and I'm like playing these really cheesy sounding chords, and I was like, and I was like, I'm just not sounding. And so I started digging a bit deeper. And I was eventually like playing super dissonant, like really, really. I was like, no, I'm playing jazz, And what happened was, because I was like, that's what jazz is. And then I don't know, was it 10 years down the line almost? Yeah, 10 years down the line, basically. I find that the dissonance is there to create a tension. And it's all about tension and release. And we have to have, you see, so the release would be, diatonic playing, in my sense. But if the whole song is diatonic playing, then there's no shape to it.
Yeah.
You can add dynamics, you can do whatever you want. There needs to be a tension in order for you to appreciate the release more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm being very simple. Obviously, there's more than just that. I'm just talking in a very simple, basic understanding. This is how I think about when I'm playing piano, playing with someone irrelevant of the genre, and also writing, producing, whatever. You want to create a tension and release. You want to create constant. If you want this part to be happy, if you want this part to be happy, what do you do before that? You create a tension. You make it darker with a tension or with something, if it's production, something that needs to make sure that this feels open. Do you know what I mean? In order to create these effects, so that, like you say, those dissonances, tensions are so important in order to create that feelings, those feelings of light and dark and tension release. Like, if the lyrics, especially like I like in theater or that kind of music, musical type, storytelling music, should I say? The beauty of being able to find a certain phrase and orchestrate to that.
Yeah,
specifically, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So you see, part of like so that whole thing, that whole the dissonance tension thing is part of why I talk about songwriting the way I do, is because for me, when I read, like I've gotten to the point where I was so obsessed with music and reading it and understanding it that if I look at a chord, I look at a voicing, I have a reaction to it. You know what I mean? And it's difficult to ignore that. And part of me, like understanding what's me and what's not me and what's coming in and coming out. That's part of why I think about music so much like that, and I worry about it. You know what I mean? Anyway, a little bit off topic there, but yeah, it's just that's part of the thing. You've got to. Yeah, I mean, it just boils down to putting information in context, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah,
like I also believe that if you are, one of the cool things about taking away ego and thoughts is that, like you were saying, if you don't have that structure, and I 100% agree with it, if you don't have certain limitations to something, you can get carried away because there's an endless sea of options.
Yeah,
there's just too many. So something in my life is that I almost like exclusively eliminate is half diminished.
Yeah,
no matter, I hate those chords. God, I hate half diminished. So like there's a limitation in my life.
Yeah, no, I got you. I
don't know if you'd ever find it. You probably would, but I mean, I find them useless chords.
Yeah. So our first gig together, I'm gonna write a whole song just half diminished chords. It's gonna be called "Fuck You, Blake."
Oh man, whoever invented half diminished chords is an asshole. Yeah, no.
It was me.
See, you're being a conduit there now.
Yeah.
You're a bait god. He was like,
that message was like from 1600.
Yeah, no, okay. But I mean,
sorry.
like you need to have those structures in place. Because it's so easy to get carried away with, say you are. Okay, we've been talking about composition right now, but say you are the producer of the song. Say you're the engineer of the song, the mixing engineer. So you're gonna get everything balanced, and you're gonna take out resonances, whatever. The whole shebang. Get everything balanced, and now the engineer also needs to make interest. So as much as the whole process of music creation from start to end is also about is maybe not creation, but then the putting down on it. if you're booking session musicians, for instance, they all need to be thinking about interest. Like, you don't go like boom, play everything. Unless, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? So say it's a typical song. You start off maybe more chilled, and then when things get more interesting, the pianist maybe can play more, and the bass player, and there's, you're building the song up and down, giving it a shape, and then the producer comes and gives it a shape, and now the engineer has all the information, all of these tracks. He also needs to create interest within it, panning and spatial effects and maybe automation of delays and reverbs in order to create spaces that change, so that the landscape of the song is not just one image, just like the start to finish, that even the shaping of the song, the verse sounds a little bit different to the chorus, because you want the chorus to be bigger maybe. You want to darken the thing, so you use a different reverb and do a low pass, a low pass cut. His also job is to create tension, but now he also has to be careful about not taking away. What everyone has to be thinking is, I need to add to the music and not take away from the music. So is he gonna come and he can do like drastic things? He can do a whole lot of things to show how cool he is and how good he is. But is it necessary?
Yeah.
That limitation of going, okay, I can't go this far. I can't. This is a bit too far, not for that song, but for this song. Do you know what I mean? Like, you have to think about the appropriateness of the song. We should always be respecting the composer, and the origin, the song that's come to you, whatever it is.
Yeah.
With limitations.
Yeah. See, like my limitation is kind of like my whole limitation thing is sort of, I don't know. I feel like if I'm in like an open state of mind, it sometimes feels like the whole world is singing to me, because we have all the stimulus around us, and that stimulus garners a reaction, and if you're in that open state of mind as a musician trying to create, that stimulus will garner a musical reaction. Yeah, and that's kind of how I feel about it, like I actually put another, like as I continue through that series where I talk about this. There's a song that I wrote because I was watching a wave go around a rock. It was a bit weird. I was just having one of those Sundays, and like
as one does.
Yeah, and this riff in 13 came to me, and then I wrote that down. Like, it wasn't me trying to be cool by writing a riff in 13. It's because that was the flow that I saw.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and that's what that means to me in that moment.
So is the riff in 4?
No.
Oh. So I probably won't like the song then.
No, probably not. Yeah, it's
4 plus a quaver. I mean a semi-quaver.
Yeah, but technically
3.
Technically it's 4 plus 9. That's how it's written.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it makes the flow of the ocean. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think the ocean flows in 4.
No, it doesn't. But and it was.
You never know. You never know.
Yeah. Well, you never know. But I think so. I think the flow of the ocean was uniform, but the wind wasn't. So I heard because the wind. It was weird.
Maybe the Pacific Ocean close to America will be in 4, and then the the Indian Ocean close to like India, and maybe that's in 13.
Yeah. Don't do drugs, kids. No, but look, like this is being a creative person. This is the weird shit that goes through your mind, man. like you kind of, and that's sort of what I'm talking. Like, I think So there's a phrase that I had that I quite like that I'm not going to change in the script of the video, even though I'm going to redo it.
Penguins should wear shoes. That one.
Yeah. No, I'm doing from top up, so the shoes are fine. Okay, but it's when most people think of the creative mind, they think of a mind free to do whatever it pleases. Where in reality, when a creative mind is free to do whatever it pleases, it is at its most restricted.
I think you have to say that again slower.
When most people think of the creative mind, they think of a mind free to do whatever it pleases. When in reality, the creative mind, when it is free to do whatever it pleases, it is at its most restricted, because it has no direction.
Did you come up with your own?
Yes.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, it's based most a little bit off of the stuff the psychology books I've been reading as well.
Yeah,
But
you see, you thief.
I still read it myself, bitch.
With your own eyes.
yeah, with my hands. But yeah, okay.
Nice. Yeah.
Someone get the eye pen. Okay, just. But you know what I mean? Like that's the point I'm realistically trying to make.
Yeah, man. Very cool.
It's like be free, but understand that you still live in a real world. You can't be in your own imagination to the point that you're not here anymore.
Unless that's the thing, you know, like, I mean, like you said, there's something for everything, for everyone.
Yeah,
Like we were talking,
yeah.
you know, there's times when you don't want to compose a piece that is honest. You want to compose a show of piece. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah,
I always
yeah,
go.
yeah.
I'm always like, people always think that I'm just like this person, you know. But like, there's times when you want to write a piece that's just like a vibing show off thing. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no,
And
same.
you want to write something in 5, go like flip and go for it. I'm not that, you know. I have pieces in weird times and just 2, you know, but you know, like weird figures and like weird riffs and like melodies that like cutting through weird, you know. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just like, I just feel like that should not be the goal all the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That the music still needs to be accessible, and we should be really careful about how much ego we allow into our art form
Yeah.
and our lives. I mean, ego is like, the more that I'm studying this ego thing and trying to work on myself, you just more realize that ego is such a stumbling block in our lives in every form.
Yeah.
You know, like it's such an unnecessary thing. We all have it, and you know, we always think about like ego as someone that's maybe arrogant. But there's, you know, if you really start digging into what is the ego and studying how it can affect your life, you can start learning how to really start finding peace.
Yeah.
You know, because oftentimes our reactions is based on protecting our ego. And I'm talking about in anything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, because ego isn't always arrogant. Sometimes it's even silence. You know, it's a less loud form of arrogance. Like I've personally experienced this sometimes, where you stay silent in your own mind and you say, I'm not going to put my thoughts out to the world to be challenged, because I know in my heart that I'm perfect.
yeah, it's a
You know,
protection. It's a protection. It's a self-defense
Yeah,
thing, really.
there's a lot of different ways ego can affect your life.
Exactly, and,
Yeah.
and it's such an important thing for us to deal with it, and for me to come to terms with the fact that we all have an ego, men
Yeah.
and women, we all have egos, and that
Yeah.
you know, that it's really important for me. That's like a journey that I'm on right now, is dealing with my ego, and it's not in that arrogant, that typical way. I'm talking about, how do I perceive what someone says from the onset? How do I react when someone challenges me? How do I, and not even, and I'm not talking about physical reactions, like not about how, you know, so someone says something and you react like perfectly, but inside what's going on.
Yeah,
Because your
yeah,
mind
yeah,
is like the
yeah,
source of everything, right? Everything starts here, becomes word, becomes action.
Mhm.
And like even controlling that mind, because when you can start controlling your mind, you can start really changing your life. And I don't mean like, you know, I'm being super spiritual, but like for me, such an important thing in the journey that I'm on right now is just, you can almost call it enlightenment, but without that, you know, I want to be happier. I want to be, not that I'm unhappy. I just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to find I'm trying to create a space for myself where I'm contributing to the world positively, not as a musician, as a person. You know?
That's beautiful, man.
And that I'm feeling, because we all have like these terrible things in our life that we have to deal with. Ego is one thing that we all have to deal with.
Yeah, definitely.
And then when you can deal with it in your own life, because we are people first.
Mhm.
When you can deal with it, then you can deal with it in your music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And in your art form. I feel like it's silly to take out ego in. You're really hard to like remove ego from your musical writing or performing or whatever, but not have dealt with it in your life. Because we born a human. You weren't born a musician. You weren't born a composer. You weren't born a lawyer. You know, like we need to deal with this as humans. I always say, like in like the religious stream, you get people who are really religious. You walk into church. You go to church every Sunday. You're a great Christian. but you're a terrible human being. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
on the surface, you do all the right things and you pray 12 times a day. Cool, that's great for you. But are you a good person?
Yeah.
Are you really contributing to the world? Are you lifting up people, irrelevant of whether they believe in the same belief system as you? Are you like something for me is like I'm just trying to smile more. Something that's on like for me right now is I want to like a thing that I'm trying to do is just bring about more joy.
Yeah.
Not just to myself, but to just the people around me.
No, but I remember. I also definitely, I know what you're talking about. I think, okay, just quickly, I love this. I love this. This is so great because I've been reading part of the psychology. I'm mostly reading Jung. Like I've only read
Okay.
like 3 pages of Jung. But the mind of that man, that's given me enough to think about for a couple of months. Okay? There's this beautiful thing called the 7 Sermons to the Dead.
The 7
Sermons to the Dead.
to the dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
And basically he makes a point that he talks about your thinking getting in the way of your true self. And the idea of the Word of God is that God gave you instructions and ways to help you to get. He's giving you tools.
Yeah.
To help you make your thinking not interfere with your true self.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty much on point with what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still like I'm reading the Bible.
Yeah.
Like and it's I hadn't really read the Bible for a really long time, and I'm trying to read it cover to cover.
Yeah.
Just as instead of jumping around and stuff like that. Like I'll read other scripture, but I'm trying to read this cover to cover.
Sure.
Take me forever because I'm not a fast reader because I sit and I research. Like while I'm doing it. I have all the parallels open. That's how I read. Dictionary open. But anyway, so as I opened it, and I hadn't read for a very long time, cover to cover, and I opened up the book, and it was, I can't remember the scripture. It was quite a while ago now. But one of the first things that came out, like in my first day of thinking, was ego, like how much God hates the ego. And there's a reason for it. This is why I'm relating, because that thing is, I was thinking, well, how do we get you? And I realized it was because of composition. And ego. But ego. And when I started, you realize like all these points are just there as guidelines to live a better life, and it's not good enough to just have. I feel like our roles in society, irrelevant of our jobs, is if none of us had a job, if we just lived, it's impossible for us to have jobs. But if we think back to like when we were hunter gatherers, and it was just like so you hunted, you gathered, and maybe you were, I don't know, chieftain. Like, life is as simple as then, actually. But we get caught up in losing our focus. We're losing our focus onto ourselves quite often.
Yeah.
As opposed to when we lived there and when we lived for a community. Now with the internet and everything, the community has grown so big that you can affect someone in America in a matter of seconds. Do you know what I mean? And I think that it's so important that our focus is not on ourselves. That yes, we do need to think about ourselves in terms of provision, and we have to look after ourselves. And obviously, the more provided for you are, that it's easier for you to help physically provide someone, but also that we can be thinking about other people without needing to give to them physical money or things. Like that you can just make someone's day by smiling at them.
Yeah.
You can make someone's day by giving them a fat hug. You can make someone's day by just taking the time to say, how are you doing? And actually mean, we go, hey, Dan, how are you? I don't mean that, how are you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't actually mean it. And you know that I don't mean it because it's just like most people always say. But with the next time you say that, set aside. You see someone that you haven't seen for a long time. Set aside 5 minutes. Say, how are you doing? No, how are you doing?
Yeah.
And to
Things like that,
actually
yeah.
listen. And something that I've been working on a lot, because I talk to my wife, me and my wife always, like, we both talk a lot. And something that we've been like working on each other with is like, we love having people over.
Yeah.
We love having guests. It's like it's our thing. But we're talking. I was saying, like, something we need to learn to do is to listen to not respond. So obviously in arguments, that's one thing.
Yeah,
Listen to not
yeah,
respond.
yeah.
That's like something that
Yeah,
we
it's
work
really hard, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and
But then
I know
even
what
like
you're talking
just like if to listen to someone for the sake of listening to them.
about.
So sometimes, like, okay, so we're doing a talk show, so I'm listening to you in order to respond to you. There's a difference. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because we're not. This is not a psychology. Like, it's not like a moment of us trying to. But when next time when we're talking, is that I should be listening to you, not to. Something I do often is that you tell me a story, and I have something to relate to that story.
Mm-hmm.
So I interrupt you with my point of that. Like, oh, that's also with me. I also do that thing. That's
Yeah.
an ego thing, actually. Do you know what I mean? Like, we
Yeah.
all do it. Like, so in this setting, that's right. We should be doing
Yeah,
that because
yeah.
we're trying to create content.
I've done it
and
like 3 times in the last 5 minutes.
yeah, we've all done it.
Yeah.
Like, but in reality, it's like, cool. But like, why don't I just set aside some time to actually hear Daniel's point of view? And if I still remember my point, instead of holding onto my point and going, oh, you're not listening to anything Daniel's saying, simple stuff like that,
Mm.
can transform people.
Mm. No,
Irrelevant
definitely.
of your upbringing, irrelevant of anything. Like, we can just be bringing about light and love, and joy. I just feel like that's what's needed. I feel that is like something that's really I'm feeling strongly about lately.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And I think one thing, so just bringing it back to music for a second, like,
Yeah.
as a musician, you're going to interact with a lot more people in a very different way than most people. And one thing that's important, why a good musician who really takes themselves seriously would mature a bit faster than some people, is because you have to do that. You have to understand, you have to really, really understand your place in every moment to really effectively communicate with people. You have to become a good communicator. And to be a good communicator, you kind of have to be a better person. You know what I mean? In terms, you have to be a more centered person.
Yeah.
In terms of understanding what you can do in this moment, what you should do in this moment, and how you should interact in this moment.
Very true.
Yeah.
I find, like, often you meet someone as musicians, and this isn't just me, but I'm just talking for myself, but I know it happened to you, it happened to like many of my friends, where you meet someone that has never really been around musicians, but say like a younger person, no, anyone actually, you meet them and they haven't really been around musicians much, so this is maybe their first interaction and chatting to musicians, and they're always like, I don't understand how you talk like this. I've never met someone your age that spoke like you.
Yeah.
Or they'd be like, I've never really even met someone older than you that speaks like the way that you speak, just like the concepts, because we are forced, not forced, but it inherently happens because of the people we surround by, like the mentors that we maybe listen to, and the fact that our job goes beyond just music, and so we mature faster. So for instance, I've always been an old soul. Like from high school, really, people would be like, I was able to communicate with adults from much younger age because it's in me. That's how I am. And many of us, I know you the same. You're a very old soul.
Yeah, I'm an annoying 6-year-old. with the 20. Well, actually, no. I've got the hips, but everything else is 23.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean. Like yes, we are, and I think we as musicians need to really consider, irrelevant of your genre. That we need to go beyond the music. Like, it's all fair and well to understand things, but any of these great musicians, from Jacob Collier to Herbie Hancock to, I don't know, Flea, they're really wise people. Like, they know what's going on in the world. They're very clued up to things. They're really clued up to current affairs and to the person. Because like you say, we interact as, people come to you after a gig often, and chat to you, and you get to listen to many different. You're forced to listen to many different people that you would never normally interact with in your thing. So like your circle of influence becomes quite big. You know, like, so you've met this person, you played a gig with this guy, and there was this dignitary there who then spoke to you because you were the musician, enjoyed it, and then started talking to you. And you just, you know, some people just like talking, but in you know, so we get to. I've been able to be influenced by and had conversations with an immensely wide spectrum of people. Backgrounds, creeds, you know, whatever it is. Like it's very interesting that you say that, and I think it's beautiful. And I think if you want to take music seriously, that it's important for you to be open-minded and open-eared.
Yeah, man. Like, because I must say one thing that like makes my day most mornings, if I'm having like a low day, is like I remember when I've interacted with people that wouldn't expect to have a good time with me, you know what I mean? But it just in that moment, I knew that my job was to be like a positive person and to see how people react. The difference to when if you go to someone and you react and you just act positively and you have a positive energy, how they feed off that immediately.
Yeah.
If you see someone who's coming up to say hello to you, wants to say hello to you, but they've got a bit of a face on, and you can see there, but and you just go, "Hey man, thanks so much, good to see you." And you see the lift, like that shit. That it breaks my heart, it makes my day, man. I love that shit.
I mean, I'm working on it.
Yeah, so you're not gonna be perfect every time, but just like that human thing. That when you put in good energy, you so often get good energy out that it makes up for the times that you don't.
Yeah, look, I mean, so one thing that I'm very good at is having really positive and high energy levels on a gig. You know, like it's almost like you generally, and my excuse was like, oh well, I feel most at home on the piano. Yeah. And I'm like trying to be like, okay, if I'm able to behave like that on the piano, that when I play the piano at my own gigs, you know, not like, because generally if I'm playing for someone else, I'm quite subdued. I try and like, it's not my gig, don't take the shine. But when I play my gigs, you know, it's immense energy. A lot of just, you know, and I just love it. Like with in a trio setting or solo piano setting, that's my forte. I absolutely love that, you know. And so you're going to see a lot of smiling, and you're going to see you're just going to feel a lot of energy. And you're going to feel a lot of passion and joy because it's something that I'm so passionate about, you know, those things. I don't get to play like that often, and I haven't been necessarily looking for that often, but when you do, when I do those things, it's a lot of like, I love it. And I was like, but how can I, isn't that a lie then if I'm bringing that into my piano playing and then not living it in my life? I was feeling like, I mean, it's not, but at the same time, you know, you shouldn't be one person and one person, you know?
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like, and so what is it about music that brings me that much joy? Or what am I doing in music? How am I treating music that I'm not treating my life and just normal life? That's bringing this joy, and that's not necessarily. It's not that I'm not joyous here, but why am I so energy there? And then when I walk out of here, I'm like, yeah, how's it? You know, like
yeah.
So you know, so what are the, you know, studying yourself?
That's important.
Yeah. So I mean, we were supposed to be talking about
it's fine,
production.
It's fine. But I mean, look,
go Bokke!
Yeah, yeah, it's a rugby game today.
It's the finals.
It's on in an hour.
We're playing against New Zealand. Hey, no, I'm joking. I'm not an idiot.
So we apologize in advance to all our England fans.
Hey,
we're trying to be too smug in the comments. Although our countrymen definitely will be. Yeah, I mean, look, like we were going to talk about productions, and admittedly, I wanted to dig into mental health around that, and we kind of did that anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I think
in what sense?
Because, you know, longevity, like ways to bring that longevity and how people do that, and we really did touch on that, like being a centered person, getting energy from the right things in your music,
and food,
yes.
Gosh, I watched that Game Changers yesterday. Game Changers?
No.
Netflix?
Nah, I don't have Netflix.
It's this thing about they're not calling it veganism, but plant-based eating.
Yes.
And the health benefits of plant-based eating. And it was quite interesting. I then went on to read. I'm very much a person of both sides. So like here's one side that's like saying how bad meat is for you, and throwing all of these like facts in, and you go like, wow. And I was like, yeah, no, no, I'm stop eating meat. But then came to my senses, and I started reading some other articles.
While you make a steak, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've gone plant-based before, when I was broke. No, I wasn't that broke, but I did feel like my energy levels then was like completely different to normal. But anyways, but the argument here is that when I read a couple of other articles against it, were that amongst many things, they're basically saying most nutritionists and like really high respect nutritionists are saying plant-based is good, but what's best is the mix of like, because you're saying the movie is saying that people when plant-based, they were able to change their lives this way and this way and this way. Like the sportsman achieved this and the sportsman achieved that and blah blah blah. But they're saying one thing to consider is how much of their diet had plants in it before that.
Yeah.
But they're saying if they had just increased the amount of plants in the diet as opposed to completely eliminating thingy, maybe the change would have been the same. Because they're saying a healthy diet is a little bit of meat, because now if you're cutting out fish and you're cutting out this and this, you're losing omega fatty acids and stuff. And like there's many other health benefits. And some of the diseases they were saying were completely by eating meat are completely eliminated the minute you add vegetables to the meat.
Yeah.
Like the thing, you're not supposed to eat meat without any fiber and source of vegetables. Like
Yeah.
you suppose that's why it's meat and 3 veg. So like, but it's very interesting. I mean, and just the advantage of plants. We don't eat enough plants. I know that's me and Leanne have been really working on trying to get much more plant-based things into our life. And I bought this protein shake now. It's a mass gainer, but it's a vegan mass gainer because I'm completely allergic. I'm not vegan, but I'm highly allergic to whey protein. And so I had to find an alternate source, and I found this pea protein, organic pea protein. Is really nice. And then I found this mass gainer because I was like, I want to actually do a meal replacement.
Yeah.
So I can have like my lunch a bit smaller, and then have this protein shake. So it's got potato, rice, oats, obviously peas, and a couple of other things, and then and a bit of creatine in it, and some other amino acids. And I promise you, that thing is amazing. The energy levels I feel the next day, like I know, like I feel it when I gym the next day if I haven't had the shake the day before.
Yeah.
Because my energy levels are completely different. It's amazing. Like yesterday, after watching Game Changers, the main thing for me was just like I was inspired to like gym, and I wasn't gonna gym because it was my day off. But I ended up having like a hardcore session, like way harder than I normally do. My Fitbit was like, whoa, like,
Yeah.
like I really pushed myself so hard. I increased my reps by a lot. Remember when we did that push-ups the other day, and I was like, oh my god, I'm dying. Like I was like, I have to like get up my stamina, and I increased my reps by a lot in each set. And I went on to do boxing, kicking, skipping after. I had like a solid session, just inspired. But I had my shake the day before. Plant-based is so important, I think, like because we get very meat oriented. You go to KFC, you get chicken and chips. You go to McDonald's, you get like a burger and chips with like
but like
a piece of lettuce on it. It's like nothing.
Yeah, but if you want to eat well, don't go to fucking McDonald's.
I'm saying
I know what you're saying.
A general diet.
I know what you're saying.
I have nothing against those things. I love KFC, but I mean, like, I'd rather go and buy some chicken, go home and have some veg with it.
You
have to put it in.
So like the way I've done it, I've gone Mediterranean.
Oh, that's beautiful. So you're only having red meat like once a week?
No, I haven't gone full Mediterranean. No. Okay, so I don't need red meat at all.
Okay.
But so what I've done is I do meal replacements for 2 of my meals in a day.
Which is a protein shake.
Yeah. So
what protein shake?
I've got this USN thing. I don't like it that much, but I was sticking with the Slender Wonder people for a while.
Oh yeah.
I like their shake.
But when you download that, you must let me know. I'm going to show you some really cool ones.
Yeah, I was going to definitely chat to you about that. But yeah, so I have pasta.
They're also quite cheap.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay.
So I have the 2 meal replacements, and then I have pasta, but pasta the right way.
Like the proper way, yeah.
Yeah.
So as in like not with all the sauces.
Yeah. So I still make a slightly creamy sauce, but like I make it in proportions.
Yeah.
Like I make it fresh every time.
And are you calorie counting at all?
No.
Should try it. Just try it for 2 weeks. I dare you. It does take a bit of effort, but I have a thing. I have a way to help you.
No, but I literally eat the same way every day, and it's working really well. I have a lot of energy, and I can feel myself losing weight.
Okay.
So, to be honest, that's why I think it's because for me, you see, I'm someone who obsesses about numbers. So I don't weigh myself, and I don't count my calories. I just eat well, exercise right, and then watch myself get better.
I don't weigh myself as well.
Yeah.
Not because of anything. I just don't have a weighing thing.
Yeah, he's
I don't
allergic
have
to
a-
weigh.
Nice one. Yeah, but coming back to like mental health and stuff, a lot of it is what you put in.
Yeah.
Food wise, if you're not putting in healthy foods, your broccolis and your spinach, and like I love spinach these days. You want to get all those things in.
Yeah, I'm a tomato and baby marrow guy.
And also,
right
like,
now.
are you taking a multivitamin?
I was, but I've stopped.
Because they're saying like in our diets these days we don't get any vitamin B12. What is that for?
Energy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that's one of the only supplements that whether you're on either diet, like plant-based or meat or mixture, that you're probably not going to get enough B12. It's pretty much the only vitamin. So that's important to maybe supplement.
Yeah. No, there's injections you can do.
Yeah. I mean, I remember getting it when King Kong. They made us do that.
Yeah.
Twice we got the injection because they know people get sick. Was it B12? I don't know.
I mean,
I think it was B12.
was it in the ass?
Yeah.
Yeah, B12.
Yes, I had to go. So they did it just before, like we were in the middle of rehearsal. Well, we were towards the end of rehearsals.
Oh no, and you sit down.
I had to sit down, and it was quite
that's
rough.
horrible.
But I didn't die as hard as some people. I remember the music director. Oh, yes.
Did you have a nurse or a doctor who did it?
I can't remember. Nurse, I think.
Okay.
Can't remember.
Okay.
Why?
Nurses do it better than doctors.
Why?
Because nurses do it more than doctors.
I suppose. No, but I mean, this person had to come and do it for age. I don't think they'd hire a doctor to come and do vitamin B12 for like 40 people, 30 people. You know
Yeah,
what
that's
I mean?
true. No, just literally, I've had that where like one of my GPs took blood, but you can see she doesn't take that much blood because she's deep GP. Like she missed the vein,
Oh,
so she went in, and then she was like, "Oh, sorry," and like wiggled around, and then found it, and I'm just like.
flop.
And it's like
I'm not scared of needles, but it does pain. Like,
yeah, you know. Like another thing is like I don't like needles that much, but like I can deal with it. But it's like
so you don't give blood, do you?
it's just like you wonder why. No, I don't. And it's just like Daniel, why are you scared of needles? You were fucking. you were rummaging around in my arm for my blood. Give me your liquid. Like, it's like what the fuck.
My wife, Leanne, I think it's just, when she gives blood, they took blood because she's been a little bit. She's been like having weird pain and stuff, and they've been a bit worried. And they took blood in her arm. I think it's her right arm, but that was probably Monday.
Yeah.
Or maybe even last week, and she has this massive bruise, like
Oh, no.
this huge. No, but I think she has low iron, and I think that's the cause of it. I
Yeah, but
forget.
also if you go into muscle before you go into
No. No matter what, Leanne gets a massive bruise.
Oh really?
Like she's got like I think it's low iron. They're saying it's low iron, I think, or something.
Okay.
And she's supposed to eat like lots of spinach and lots of red meat, and she doesn't. I mean, you don't want
Ew.
red meat. But anyways,
so rough.
so now she walked into. So what happens is with school with Daniel, like there'll be just days when we bust a tide, or we don't take him to school. Like it's play school, man. Like whatever. So it's like on and off. Like we don't take him in, or he's sick or whatever. So I remember the day Leanne had the blood taken, and then Daniel didn't go to school the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's been like months now. He's in and out. But it's we're not like bad. It's just or like we like the one time we upped and went to East London. We just so we just didn't take him to school and whatever. We're not bad parents. So then the next day we took him back, and Leanne had this huge bruise on her arm. And Leanne's like, I think she looked really tired or something because she's been like really sick, so she's not been sleeping and she doesn't look healthy.
Mm.
And the teacher, Daniel's teacher, looked at the arm, looked at her, and Leanne said the immediate thought, she was like, is the teacher thinking Daniel didn't come to school yesterday? Are we on drugs? Like, oh, Philip.
Yeah,
Gosh,
I mean,
it's
well,
pretty
at
funny.
least not those drugs, Like, I'm kidding.
Oh, Philip.
Oh. No, I get you,
funny.
man. I get you. It's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah, so look after yourselves, guys.
Yeah, man. No, honestly, it is.
Yeah,
Like we've
it's
spoken about
really
it a few
important.
times, but for me, like how, like I know that running up to the launch of the album, the church album, like I got min sleep because it was in between like a lot of other things that I was doing as well, and so sometimes the only time I could carry on working on it was the late evenings, you know, and so like I'm still feeling really exhausted because I haven't had much of a rest, and I tried to take yesterday off. I did kind of take it off, and Thursday sort of, but I'm still feeling in my chops the past maybe week and a half.
Mm.
So I know that my energy levels, and it's also because I was so busy. Leanne was also really busy. We weren't cooking really well,
Yeah.
you know. So we
Yeah, that's
weren't
big.
putting in things, and I'm feeling it now. So now it's taking my body a little bit of time to get back into like good energy levels because of we've only been eating healthy for a few days now, or maybe no, a week or so. But it's just like it's not enough sleep, not eating well enough. I feel it, and it was just like 2 weeks of not bad compared to you know. So now you're doing a big run of a show, and you now it's you 6 weeks in. It's gonna change. It's gonna affect you, man.
Mm.
Getting enough nutrients into your body, getting the right amount of sleep. Because even when you eat, so what do they say? If you get enough vitamin D. So I don't know, but okay. So there's magnesium. There's a zinc supplement, zinc and magnesium that you take,
Mhm.
which helps you. Supposed to help with muscle recovery. Flip up, I'm forgetting to take mine. But it's supposed to help with muscle recovery and pain after gymming. But it also helps sleep because so you take it before bedtime.
Yeah, yeah.
You take it before bedtime. A lot of athletes do it, and it helps you sleep better because that's also the thing that you need to get the right amount of sleep, you know, in order for muscle to recover your thing. And so that's also a good supplement to be making sure you get enough of magnesium. And zinc also keeps away colds and flus.
Mm. Yeah, it does. It does really great.
So I mean, those are like for me. That's so I take a multivitamin. I normally take my magnesium and zinc supplement, ZMA. I don't know what the A is for. And then yeah, try and get as much vegetables in.
Yeah, man. Alrighty.
And tea.
And tea. Yes.
I've been drinking more tea lately.
Yeah. Well, look, I think we almost have a 2-hour podcast this time,
Oh wow.
and I'm actually happy to put most of it in.
Oh wait.
Yeah, I think that was really good. Yeah, man. So this was a good one. We basically touched on the subjects that I wanted to talk about. So I'm happy.
Mm.
Yeah. So thanks so much for watching. This has been Backseat Musicians, episode 8.
Yeah.
I'm here with my friend Blake.
What's up?
Cool. Cheers, guys.
Like and subscribe.
Yes.
Backseat musician.